now.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to wherever you are in the cosmos. Welcome to the weekly Pleiadian Admin Chat with your host, Shamanka Natalie Alaya,
Hello.
Alexa Serrano,
Hola.
myself, Bridget Rau, hi, and we have a special guest today, Sif.
Hi, everyone.
Today we're going to be discussing a few topics. We're going to start talking to Natalie about her journey, her spiritual community. She's been all around. She's been to Peru, Ireland, and she has so much to offer this community, so we really want to touch in with her and find out what she has to share. And then we're going to talk with Alexis about overcoming shyness and using the different groups on Facebook to utilize this and build a community with each other where you're comfortable to share. We're also going to be talking about the incredible energies coming in September with Wave X, and I know that Sif has some information to share on that with us, but who wants to start? Do we want to start with Natalie?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. So
All
let's hear about your journey.
Yeah, so I came to Ireland 17 years ago, and basically Ireland activated me. And the energies here are quite intense. They're very pure, and they do activate a lot of people that come here, can feel the energies. And I was always into psychic, so psychic phenomenon was very common in my family. So that was like, it wasn't anything too bizarre. My grandmother was very psychic. She did the tarot cards and would do, in Lebanon, they would do the tea leaves or the coffee grounds and tell your fortune from that. She would do that. And so I always played around with that kind of stuff, had decks of tarot cards, but dabbled. I was a scientist. It was just kind of dabbling. And when I moved to Ireland, I just really had my awakening in 2001. I got really activated, and I was always drawn to Peru, and I knew I wanted to get into shamanic work. It's what really, what I like about shamanic work is that it covers so many things. It can work on the soul level, the energetic level. There's really no rule book.
Yeah, I love that about it, and I've, like yourself, I've been drawn to go to Peru lately so bad, and I keep meeting more and more people. Ever since you did your talk on the show with Larry about the rights, I was like, oh my God, it's just amazing.
The energies there is quite pure too. It's in a way it's very similar to the energy in Ireland, and I do think the chakra points on the earth. The energy is pure everywhere in the earth. I mean, the earth is beautiful, but there are certain points where the energy can really connect to certain parts of your body and really activate that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I've also always wanted to go to Ireland, to Egypt. Of course, I want to go to like the places where I think Atlantis may have been.
That's interesting. Sif was saying today we went to Valencia Island, and there was a thing we were looking at these tetrapods. Tetrapods were like they left footprints on this island in Valencia. They're 325 million years old.
What?
Yeah. I was like, those are our ancestors. We go back, 400 million years.
That's awesome.
They're the first animals that left the water, and they left their mark on this shale, must have been soft mud, but turned to shale. And they said that Ireland at that time was south of the equator.
Wow.
Whoa.
And that's awesome. And I totally feel like we have shifted a lot just recently. And when you talk to like the tribes in Alaska and stuff, those who are really connected with hunting and things like that, they're saying that we've shifted too, that the stars have moved, that things are different. So I totally feel like we're shifting again.
Yeah. And that we'll get back more into that with the Wave X, because I think the shift is really, really intensifying now. So my journey, I was drawn to Peru, and I spent a month in Peru, and it felt like home. It was like coming home.
Yeah.
I like to incorporate in my work, let's say, that I really have so many different modalities and I can really tailor it to the person. So it's like some people don't really need shamanic healing. They need some reflexology and Reiki, or they need a tarot reading and an aura cleanse. Or some people really respond to the physical and the reflexology, the touch, massaging the foot. They don't respond as well to the energy healing.
Yeah. So now you offer all of this stuff, right?
Yep.
Oh.
I have a question for you, Natalie.
Yeah, go on.
Someone, I'm just trying to get my certificate with Reiki, and I've been reading about this stuff and different types of energy healing for a really long time, but what would you say to someone that's new to this world and getting energy healing? Like, why would they see a shaman versus, seeing someone that does Reiki, getting a Reiki attunement? Like, what are all the differences?
Yeah, that's interesting. Shamanism, I think people need to be, if they have a fear about it, because it is a bit of an unknown for a lot of people, that fear can block the healing.
Not me. I'm like, let's go. Give me the shaman.
I know. But some people have a fear. So if they have a fear, it's basically their own energy system telling them they're not ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Reiki is so gentle and grounding. A lot of times that can be like what they first need because they need the grounding and the clearing of the chakras that Reiki brings. And then a lot of times they'll open up and be more interested in like bringing back parts of their soul, because a lot of us have fractured souls from all the trauma.
Yeah, definitely.
And we need to bring back those parts to be whole again.
That totally makes sense too, though, because I never went out looking for a shaman. It was like after I started my spiritual journey, they came to me, and that's when I was like, oh wow, this is a whole other like chapter that's available to us in the healing community. That in talking with my friend Jeffrey, it's like, wow. You guys just have that knowing. You exude everything that I would like to be.
Yeah.
Like I'm far off from there, but that's where I want to go.
Yeah, I think you're a shaman. I think both of you are. I think actually, Sif, I think we all are, and we've been shamans many times.
Yes, for sure. I want to share my journey to find a shaman because I was shamanically journeying for a really long time, but I didn't have the language. I didn't know, it's like when you're little and you learn how to survive in the world, you're taught what things are. This is red, this is blue, this is an apple. I was having internal experiences that I really couldn't even, there's no way I could have ever even talked about it or had anyone explain to me. So it took me a really, really, really long time to figure it out. But this is one reason I think people generally see shamans. I was having, I had some imprints in my aura, so I kept playing out and manifesting the same scenario over and over and over and over and over again. And that's when I actually had my grandfather come to me in the astral realm, and he told me to go to a shaman. He actually drove me there in the, it felt like a dream, but it was more real.
He drove you there.
He drove me there. Oh my God. You guys gotta hear this story. It's so cute. My grandpa died in 2011, and I was really close to him. And he came to me in a dream, and when he died, he was blind. He was 93 years old, and he had been a barber his whole life, and very lively and fun, loving person, but kick in the pants. He comes to me in the dream, and he pulls up to the mall, and I'm telling him the act. I'm like, Grandpa, oh my God, guess what happened? This happened, and I'm talking his ear off. And he goes, okay. I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I came to take you to the doctor. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I need to go to the doctor. He's like, yep. And so I get in the car. It was like a big Lincoln Town car. I know, it's funny. He's got his little glasses on, his little guayabera, and his little, like the old Spanish men wear the little hats. And we're driving. He's driving me up the mountain. And it's really, really green. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're blind. How are you driving? And he shakes his head and he's laughing at me. He's like, Alexis, oh my God. And it was kind of like, come on, Yeah. And I was like, yeah, you're dead. Okay. Seriously. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. Okay. And I realized, like, I feel like part of me is like always in the other realm anyways. I'm understanding that more and more. So that's why I'm like, oh, it's, to me, the two worlds, like, it makes complete sense to me. You know, it's not, to me, heaven is right there. They're all right there.
Yeah, and that is about, the shamans are about moving between these dimensions.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yes, yeah. And the better shamans, you know, can, you know, you just learn to slip in and out, move easier between these different dimensions, bring information back from this dimension for the person that's healing, or go into, you know, they have the different worlds, the upper, the middle, and the lower world or underworld. And we travel between those, but there's even more than that, really, because in each world there's parallel dimensions and other dimensions. And a lot of people are doing this already naturally, and like you said, they don't know that they're doing it. And a lot of starseeds are probably doing it.
Oh, that's why I started writing my articles and really sharing my story, because, you know, I don't know how it is everyone else seems to know. Like, I'm psychic, I'm a channeler, I'm a medium. I'm like, how did you know that? Like, how did you even know that you were doing that? Like, it's taken me so long. But I want to tell you that in the astral realm, everything is symbolic. So the next morning, I woke up the next day and knew, and I just clicked, and I looked for a shaman in Oakland. In Oakland, where I actually met the shaman, it was up on the top of a hill, and it was covered with a lot of greenery. Isn't that interesting?
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, gorgeous.
How did you figure it out? How did you guys figure out what, you know, your gifts?
I know that, like, I was talking, after when I separated, I needed intensive psychotherapy. Intensive. I had so much trauma. And my psychotherapist she's a Buddhist, she was psychic, she was a massage therapist. She was amazing. And I was talking to her about, like, my dreams and different stuff, and she said, she's the one who said, like, you really sound like you would connect with shamanism. And I'd heard about it, but as soon as she said it, I was like, yeah, I think I would, you know? So I just looked it up and started looking it up. And I just went from there, and I did a course in County Meath. I did a druidic shaman course over 6 months. And then after that, I decided to go to Peru.
Wow.
Yeah. And I did the monarchy here, yeah, which is a shamanic type of thing.
Oh, no, to me, God is in nature, so it's a path that always has spoken to me. I always connected to mountains and to trees, and, you know, I didn't have any family, I didn't have parents, so that the earth literally was my family. Yeah. So it made sense to me.
And how about you, Bridget? Because you are a shaman. I know you are.
Well, I just found that out today. No. Well, basically, you know, growing up, I always connected with stuff, and I saw things people didn't see, and I knew things that other people didn't know, and a lot of things would happen that I would say was going to happen. It's just intuitive kid. When you grow up, though, and you, like, I was getting scared at night of stuff, so I kind of shut things off for a while.
Common theme. I think a lot of people do that,
Yeah, we end up shutting it off because we're afraid of it, and we don't know what's like, why is this happening? Like, there's a head floating above my bed, and I'm like, wah! So it was actually back in 2011 when I started, like, you know, looking into all the stuff and realizing, like, the traits that I had weren't like normal traits. I'm like, oh, they're like they're putting these in a different thing, and then going to classes and getting, like, I went and got my Reiki 1, and then I went into the new paradigm, doing the Moon Reiki with you. I've done angel communication classes, and it's just all evolved from there. So, I mean, we all have this ability.
Yeah.
We all can do it. It's just a matter if you go down that road and decide to work on it and to connect. Some people are just so like, I gotta go to work, I gotta pay my bills, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And I'm like, why? Like, really? Like, what's gonna happen if you don't? Because you're not gonna die. You just, you know, your life's gonna change a little.
Yeah.
But you felt forced into it, Bridget? I felt forced into this path. Like, literally, like, they didn't let me go down. Like, everything I tried failed. I started businesses, I went to schools, like, everything else I did was just, like, my marriage failed, everything was failing. I'm like, I literally was forced down this path. You don't feel you were forced in some ways?
Well, I mean, I have clear knowing, so like when I go into a job or something, I just pick it up quick, and I've always like succeeded at everything I've tried and done really well with stuff. Like, oh, I'm gonna go get a new job, and then like I was hired at this place for 1 day a week, and within a month I was running it, and and that's like how things are. But what happens is I end up getting totally drained because I get used, and it was a waitressing gig, so it was like even worse because then you deal with all these people. So it was like supposed to be there for Sunday mornings for breakfast crew, and then I ended up like I was doing all the ordering, I was doing all the scheduling, I was hiring people, firing people, and I wasn't being paid for that stuff. I wasn't getting an equal share back as to what I was putting out, and that happens in my life over and over and over. Like we were saying earlier, shit keeps coming back. And then you get burned out, and then you know, I would regress and go sit in a room by myself for 6 months and try to recoup, and then come back out and do the same fucking shit.
I was just going to ask that, like, were you happy? Because that was the thing that really, I could be successful at things, but I was freaking miserable. Like,
right,
miserable,
that's,
you know?
So I was forced, if you want to be happy, you have to do, right, like this is like, I don't feel like I was forced into it, but I feel like I found it and was finally like, oh, I can succeed at this and do good with this, and be just as happy as I was there, like be happier than I was there and just as successful as I was with that stuff. Yeah. But it really wasn't successful because at the end it was always blowing up in my face. Like
it was 3D successful, but not 5D successful.
Right. And you need that balance.
I think we were like, you know, in a way we were kind of the pioneers, and more people are waking up. And they'll be joining us. It won't be so lonely.
I know. Yeah. Yes, totally. Yeah, I guess I was always seeking like my highest path, and I had for many, many years. And I didn't, you know, most people they have family and they have marriages and children. I didn't have any of that stuff. So my life purpose, what I was going to do to make money, had to be meaningful to me, and I just couldn't figure out what that was. You know, and so like everything kind of did organically happen down this path, but I just felt like I can't work a job that I'm just not one of those persons that can work a corporate job and just to buy stuff. You know? I just can't do it. I just literally can't. I'm sad and suicidal. I can't do it.
Well, I have a problem with authority. I really do. I tend to blow up or get my, you know, and so I just I work much better when I'm like self-employed or like working like how we work together in a way.
Yes. Yeah. And that's how it's gotta be.
Yeah, equal, but you know we're doing our separate things, but we come together, and yeah, it's fantastic. I like that, but I can't work in a place where if someone thinks they're, you know, the authority figures, they're basically, a lot of them abuse power. And it really gets to me. I can't take it.
Yeah. Yeah, I either have to be in a spot where, like, I'm in control of most of what's going on around me, like, or I can't, I can take direction and stuff, but I'm not good. Like, it gets to a point, like, people, like, you know, you have employees who you ask to do something, they're like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, how about we do it this way, because this will be better.
People don't like that, yeah, and that's the thing with the authority. No, we did it this way. We've always done it this way, and we will continue to always do it this way with the poor results.
Right? Like, okay, you can stay and be miserable and not expand. That's fine. Goodbye. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I think in the end, I guess I was forced too. I think I definitely was forced, I would say.
Right, Natalie? I just feel like, Jesus, I was forced into this.
I mean, I tried everything. I got a PhD. No, I did it. Nope.
Yeah. So did. You really did. Wow.
Yeah, I did a lot. I had a wide journey looking for, and I love learning, which can be a curse and a blessing.
Yeah, and it's almost like I learn all this information, and then it's like I don't even remember when I learned it, but it comes out at different points, and people look at me like, because I don't look like someone who knows shit. Like, I look like a dumb, bitchy girl. Like, when I go and meet people and I talk to them, and they're like, how do you know that? And I'm like, I don't know, I read it on Google or something. But
Photographic memory, maybe. I don't know.
Oh my god, yeah. Like I remember everything, and Jamie hates it because like I'll be like, don't you remember like 6 months ago, blah 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 blah, blah, and like play out like a whole day. He's like, no.
Oh,
And it's a woman trait anyway. We're like, don't you remember when you did that?
yeah.
I'm still mad about it. I don't know. I guess we have been forced to it. I'm in a little bit of resistance to the word forced because I don't feel like I'm like they took me kicking and screaming down this path. I feel like I was led to it, and it's something that was like the best thing ever for me to happen. You know?
That's a really good point because I think that you're just a wiser soul for doing that. I swear to God, I swear, because that's partly like what I want to coach and help people with is like I look back and I journey and I see, okay, this is a time when I was surrendered and I was just going with the flow like you, Bridget. And then there was something in me that was just like, I turned down the psychic stuff. I was like not paying attention to it. I married someone that didn't even believe in God or anything higher than this dimension. And it had a really negative impact on me. But I think that you have a choice. You can either go down the path that you're being called and led, you're being drawn to. And I was being led down this path for a really, really long time, but I resisted it. So I think you're just wise that you followed it, So I was very stubborn. I had to come into it like being forced, getting really sick, and I had to take that path.
They had to bring you kicking and screaming.
You know what it was? The idea of like serving, this is funny to me. The idea of like giving, because I had a relationship with my family that was very toxic and abusive, and they took advantage of me and manipulated me constantly. When someone told me the idea of like healing and being a service to other people, it sounded like a hell on earth to me. But now it's like the difference now is like everything I'm doing now I do with love because I want to, because I don't have to. I love it. I can't even believe how much I love doing what I'm doing and helping people. But it's different when you're being manipulated, and I think I didn't know the difference. And so that was another journey to understand, okay, this is manipulation and when I'm being used, and this is when I'm actually giving from my heart. And so that's why I think I just was like resisting it,
Definitely, and that makes sense. And I can understand that how you feel like that. I mean, we're Blu-rays. We grow up in a dysfunctional thing where everybody takes from us.
Yeah.
And like I said, there was lots of times I didn't get anything back for what I was giving out, but I get back from giving now.
Yeah. I do want to do it from my heart.
Right. It's like, oh, okay. I don't mind. Like, come see me. I'll give you a Reiki for free because I'm getting healing too. Like, and that's the thing that's hard with this. A lot of people who need healing, a lot of people who need advice and to be directed down a new path don't have money. They don't have a good life. They're coming to you as a last resort. So it's like, trying to find another way that they can give back to you. It's almost like you kind of have to open up and accept.
I'm doing both, but I've noticed that I think it's partly I believe in what you're saying a little bit, but I also think that people are so manipulated into spending money on clothing and other bullshit items for their house. I see people that desperately need help and healing, and they won't do it, but yet they go spend $1,000 getting tattoos all over their body. They're spending money on other things, and I think their just priorities are out of whack.
Right,
So
and there's people like that I deal with, and I get a little pissed off. I'm like, oh, I can't afford this, but you see him on Facebook like, oh, I just did this and I just bought that and blah blah blah, and I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. Exactly. No. Yeah.
But there are people out there who genuinely need your help. Like, I don't mind getting on the phone and talking to someone for an hour or 2 hours. You don't need to pay me for that. Like, if you want me to pull cards for you, that's a different story.
Yeah.
I can't give that out for free every time. Like, call me on your birthday. I'll pull a couple.
Yeah.
The tarot actually takes a lot of energy. I don't think people realize it. They think like, oh, but you're just picking cards, but there's no in interpreting, and the cards are just like a gateway to the message, and all that takes energy, and it's like you're jumping into another dimension. If I do too much tarot, I get really drained, so I don't give it free either.
Natalie, do you remember after the Munich I turned on you? I realized I could do that, and I did like 60 free readings, and I couldn't like
And I
weak.
was like, honey, I can't even do 5 in a day.
I was so tired. Oh my God. I was
Yeah.
so tired.
I mean, I find if I do 5 1-hour readings, that's like max in a day.
Yep.
I can actually handle psychically.
Yeah, that is,
5 of anything. Yeah.
Well, that's a good transition into your overcoming shyness because, I mean, a year ago you probably wouldn't have been throwing that out there to everybody that, hey, I can do readings, come to me and let me talk to 60 people.
yeah, totally. Well, I want to share that because I'll tell you what led me down the path. Like I said, like I feel like I've been completely 100% guided and led by spirit now. My life had taken a turn where I literally had to like pray and meditate every single day. Like everything was going wrong and I really had to change the way that I was thinking, living, breathing, everything. And you know, I had I had a really massive public breakdown on Facebook, and I had a nervous breakdown and became suicidal and posted this ridiculously drama photo and was like, goodbye, everybody, on Facebook. And then, so drama, right? So,
I don't mean to giggle, but it's like, I know, but it's a cry for help.
Yeah.
it was, I was screaming, but I'm like, now I laugh. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm drama. But, you know, I wasn't in a lot of pain. I really needed to make some big changes in my life. And it was, I had to force myself into doing it. But so anyways, when I started getting healing and I came back and all my friends, I could tell everyone was like, oh, she's back online. Oh, what's she doing?
Can you say anything?
You know, and everyone was like, and I felt really uncomfortable, and I'm like, oh, Jesus, I have to address it. And I just really, it went off in my head. I'm like, you know, the only way to deal with this is just to face it head on. And I had family members still at that time that were linked to my Facebook. And, you know, that's been like a whole saga, like getting away from this toxic family. And they were trying to shame me. And I noticed that they always wanted me to feel small and to keep me down. And, you know, I used to sing, they made me stop singing, and they bullied the shit out of me. And I was like, no, I'm taking my power back and I'm taking my life back. And I just flipped it all around on them. And I became proud that I tried to kill myself, which is crazy. I was like, isn't that funny? I was just like, yep, I tried to kill myself, but I don't want to die anymore. Here I am.
I love you.
I was just like,
guess what?
yeah. Well, you know, and it was a long journey to get better, but I also got really, the thing that really made me do that was when Robin Williams killed himself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that hurt really bad. And I just felt like, this is fucked up. We're living in a really messed up world where people can't even be honest and they're shamed by like the most stupidest things. And I just decided that as a form of like wanting to like, as a political like statement, I became a really loud person and outspoken about my suicide attempts just because I was like, I want to be the change I want to see in the world and I want to help end the stigma. And I knew that if I could I'm not ashamed of it at all. I'm not ashamed of it. And actually, if anyone ever came to me and tried to make me feel ashamed, I would say, shame on you for not understanding how desperately in pain I was. Yeah. You know, shame on you for trying to shame me when I was just asking for help. So I just felt like I totally reversed it. And that was like the beginning of me just becoming like what I'm becoming now, like big mouth and not, well, you know, not caring about anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Beautiful. And so then you got into the groups.
Yes, so then, you know, and I used to just be so painfully insecure and not confident and really ashamed of every aspect of myself because obviously I was really abused. That was part of the brainwashing and abuse. And I started using the group slowly to overcome my fears and just to talk to people. And little by little, I kind of would do it. Like, I get people now writing me, they're like, Alexis, I can't talk the way you talk. I wish I could say what you say. I'm like, you can. You can do it. You can baby step this. You can do this one step at a time. And I'm like, that's how I did it. And I'm like, you just keep pushing yourself. You take you face one tiny baby fear, and then you face it again, and you keep facing it. And like, I just can't. I'm like, look, it's working. I'm doing it. Like, I'm totally killing the fear. And so that's how I did it. The groups have been amazing for me. Amazing. And so my group, the Sisterhood, that's what I'm trying to pass on and help other women, is just really empower themselves and show them, hey, you can get more comfortable, and you have to get honest to get better. You have to.
Yeah. And it's a great group, and it's a great atmosphere in there, and there's loads of healing going on in that group. It's wonderful.
Yes. Oh my God, I was like crying last night. I'm like, oh, I love these conversations. I love seeing people get it. There was one woman that posted, and she was been going through a really hard time for a few weeks, posting like she just was in a really bad dark space, and I've been sending her a bunch of stuff, and I do a lot of free coaching too, and I was sending her tons of information and just encouraging her to do it, and she posted something. She's like, okay, guys, I'm doing the grounding and I'm meditating. I'm letting go of these toxic guys. I'm like, yes. Woohoo!
No, it feels so good. It is what is fantastic about doing healing is seeing people like that blossom, flower, heal, get over their issues. There's nothing like it. It just feels fantastic.
It makes me cry. I'm like, oh my God, I love this. It's so awesome.
Yeah, no, it is. It's amazing.
Bridget, were you always this outspoken?
Well,
I'm gonna say yes. No. I know I have been mostly.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, yes and no. I mean, I've always been crazy outspoken, like raw in your face. Like I don't censor myself much, but I didn't always have friends. And I mean, I wasn't even on Facebook when everybody was on Facebook. It was like, at one point I was like, you know what, I'm going to make a website. And then I had to get Facebook in order to share it because I was like, oh, if I want people to see my thing, I have to use social media. It was like, you know, I did a whole bunch of investigating and reading, like how to be a copywriter, how to make a website, how to do this. So the only next logical step was to get a Facebook. And I'm like, I don't have any friends. Who am I going to request? So I'm like requesting everybody from high school and slowly building it up. And then at first, I mean, if you look back, because you know how they do like your memory posts.
Yeah.
I wasn't really like vocal about this stuff. Like I'm a Pleiadian, you know, like people, like people don't, and I'm still not like I don't run out, because even in the spiritual community, you know, people come in for Reiki and stuff. You don't want to throw like, hey, the galactic team came in while you were here and they're going to think you're insane. But I always know when someone else is, like this woman Darnell who owns Shanti Shala down the street. The first time I met her, I like said to my other friends, I'm like, because my other friends know I'm Pleiadian, da da da. I'm like, she's a starseed. Does she know she's a starseed? What kind of starseed is she? Like,
Yeah,
but you don't say it like to them, like, oh my God, what where are you from? Because they're gonna be like, Plimpton. You know? But the other day I went to her an event at our house, and I said something about my Pleiadian group because I'm more vocal about it now. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing the Pleiadian admin chat, and she was like, wait a minute. She's like, how'd you get to do that? And I'm like, the Pleiadian group. I'm admin for the Pleiadian group. And she's like, what the hell's a Pleiadian group, and why don't I know about it? She's like, I'm a Pleiadian. I'm like, oh my God. So, but my posts have evolved over the past year. You know, I used to post everything in the Pleiadian group without censor or fear, but on my personal page it wasn't like, yeah, yo, last night I saw this awesome, like, people, it sounds like you're tripping to some people who have no clue.
Yeah.
You know, like, friends from high school are like, what is she fucking talking about? You're like, oh, the violet flame came in, and it's just, I don't care anymore. I post my shit, and it's funny because now I have more and more people from the area, from school, reaching out to me like, dude, I had no idea you were into that shit and that you can do that. You know, and they want to know about it because they seen how I transitioned from being like by myself all the time, being sad, depressed, lonely, and now I'm like, oh my God, I had an awesome day. I just had lunch with 15 people, and, blah, 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 and thank you, creator, and blah, and they're like, what are you doing? Because I want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you get comfortable with yourself, I've noticed that's the key. This really is a relationship. We're in a relationship with ourselves, and this is all about us. And once you're comfortable with yourself, people become comfortable with you. It just totally changes. But it's all about yourself. Yeah.
And you gotta be your authentic self. If you're authentic, people will like you. They don't care if you're fucking crazy or not. If you're being authentic, they're gonna like you.
Exactly.
I love that. So true. It's so true. You know, I was talking about this last night in a sisterhood group. I'm like, you know what's so funny? I'm like, I was trying so hard to like fit into the 300 friends that I had, you know, on Facebook. And I'm like, when I finally just let all that go and said, fuck it, screw it, I'm just going to be who I really am and come out of the closet with everything. And now, like, I have 4,000 friends on Facebook, and I'm like, wow, look at that. When you really are who you are supposed to be. Like, it just, you start attracting people that you really resonate with.
Right. And like this past week, for some reason I was like, because I used to blog a lot and then it kind of fell away. So now I have the new Paradigm Healing page. And I share like, little memes and stuff like that. But the other day I was called to do a post about acceptance. And it was crazy to see all these people were like, oh my God, I so needed to hear that today. And like one of my friends was the first to comment. And I was like, oh my God, like, and I was only looking at it from my perspective. Yeah. So when I went back and read it, thinking like how other people might be looking at what I had wrote, I was like, wow, this really can relate to everybody. It's not just me. So the next day I did the same thing, and I had more people like, oh my God, I so needed to hear this today. It's like almost like it's like perfect for whatever's going on in their life. Yeah. And it's very cool to see like you can impact people with your words and your thoughts. Yeah. And have them actually think about something that they might not have thought about, or have a new perspective brought in so that they can work through whatever's going on in their life. Yeah. But it is cool to have all these friends going from like being alone all the time, and I've always had thoughts and my own little philosophy going on in my brain, but I never thought anybody would be like, oh, me too.
Yeah. The thing is too about this work, if anyone's interested in either in getting into learning it, is a big part of it is maintaining your energy and keeping your energy high. Yes. And you can't do that in most, like if you're doing a 9-to-5 job.
Yep. Oh yeah, so true. I think one of the best things I do to keep my energy high is just to do things that I love. Like, and I'm doing a lot of writing and blogging, which I'm hoping to eventually have a book, and sharing all the lessons I've learned over the last 12 years. And I do a lot of things that make me happy, but if I do things that bring me real joy, that really feeds me and gives me tons of energy.
Yeah.
It has to feed the soul.
How do you feed your soul?
Oh, sorry. Which one is it? Are you talking?
Oh, yeah, Natalie. Yeah. whoever, even Sif, whoever wants to. How do you guys feed yourself? How do you fill yourself up?
I love cooking. I'm such a nurturer. I'm so vegetarian. I love feeding my kids, making food for people that they can enjoy and really enjoy. I ground. My cat helps me. I actually do quite a bit of different stuff. I like writing. I like going outside in nature, spending the time grounding. I walk a lot in my back garden.
Yeah, that's nice.
Ground myself. It's nice to have that little slice of earth that's yours that you can connect with. And crystals.
Oh yeah.
They're like my friends, and they help me a lot with grounding, keeping the energy up. But I need a lot of hermit time.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah, a lot of time alone, and sometimes it's just daydreaming, reading a book.
I love reading and watching really great movies.
Yeah, and allowing the mind to just go into those other dimensions easily. Because that's what we're actually probably training when we do that.
Yeah. I feel like that. I feel like anything can really be therapeutic for your soul if you go into it with an open mind. Like, nobody wants to clean their fucking house or do their dishes or whatever, but it can be very, very soothing and meditative to be doing something like, running the water and just once everything is clean, it's like, I can't do anything unless stuff is picked up around me and is put in a certain way.
Me too. Yes.
Because everything has to be perfect. It's then I can shift into that, like, okay, now I'm professional mode, and I have.
Well, in Buddhism, they say that's the Dharma, that you take the practice into your everyday life, so that when you're sweeping away karma, negative karma.
Yeah.
You're cleaning, and Dharma means utilizing the teachings in your everyday life and in caring for your surroundings.
Oh, right. Yeah, being present. Yesterday I had that urine issue with my cat, and oh my God, I had to go to home. I'm like you, Bridget, like my environment, I can't have harsh smells, harsh anything, because it just totally bugs the crap out of me. And it was just obviously cat pee, so it was disgusting. We had gotten the wrong pee pads because we have an older cat that has issues, and so we put all these pee pads under his litter because he always ends up peeing outside of it. And we bought the wrong ones, and they totally soaked the carpet with all this urine, and I had to get it out. I actually went to Home Depot, got some cutters, and ripped out that damn carpet last night. I was like, yes, it's gone.
The smell.
Oh, terrible. I had to get rid of it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I really want to talk about the wave X, because I think there's
Ooh, yes.
there's a lot of like build up with the people promoting the negative fear mongering thing, and I really 100% do not feel that at all. I feel
I don't either.
I'm over the dizzy spells now. I noticed that the last couple of days I'm not as lightheaded. I think I'm really integrating the energy better now. How about you guys?
I've had a couple weird things happen this last month, but actually I've been really, really happy this last month. But I got a kind of a cold, and I had like a kidney infection, and I think it's my body clearing out more stuff. So as we're heading into the photon belt or whatever celestial energies that are impacting the earth, like I think it's clearing me out, but it's coming out in interesting ways. But I feel pretty good for the most part.
I can't stop peeing.
Are you drinking tons of water?
I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm not intaking more than normal, but my body, like, I'm getting up every night, like 5 times a night to pee all day long. It's like I'll go pee in like 5 minutes later, and it's not like a urinary tract infection or anything like that. It's just like I just have to go pee all the time. It's like, why do I have to pee so much? It's like my body's cleansing or something. It's like, get up. But other than that, I feel good. I mean, the dizzy stuff, I kind of like getting dizzy because it's like, something's going on.
I know, it is exciting, actually. It kind of is exciting to go, oh my God, look it, I feel it. When you get a download, I love downloads.
Right.
How do you experience a download, by the way? What's your experience when you're getting a download?
Last week, we did a last chat, and I could tell I'm getting a download because I feel like I feel it in my aura. I feel like I start shaking. My hands will start shaking. I will literally feel like energy's going inside my body, and my aura, and my energetic body. And sometimes I'm not able to think clearly, but I'll just start knowing things and like things. I don't know. It's like I can feel it physically, but I also can just tell that I'm getting a lot of information and data from a person. Like I totally got a download last week from Bridget. A couple times.
Oh yeah, Bridget, you brought in so much information last week. Oh, that was brilliant.
Yes.
I got a download too last week, though. It was like, sharing my. I think we do that together, and that's why I like getting together with like-minded people and discussing, because it's like that aha moment. The light goes on, and all this new information comes in. It's like, oh my God, that's why. Oh yeah, that totally makes more sense than what I had previously downloaded. Like, thank you. Because it's like they download little bits and pieces at a time so that you can like accept it without being like bombarded. Like, nope, that can't be it. It's like they do it in baby steps. You know what I mean? Like they don't like you're never gonna be like, here's all information ever made, but you blow up. Your body would blow up.
Right. I think we'd disintegrate if we had the full. But maybe we're getting ready. Maybe that's what WaveX is helping us to take bigger chunks.
Yes, definitely. I did a meditation. My friend Karen Norman came to Blue Angel for her first meditation ever the other night, and it was awesome. We went to Lemuria, and we connected with a spirit guide from Lemuria.
Oh, I'm getting tingles.
It was awesome. So during the meditation, we go into a cave with him, and we sit with him on a bench, and then she leaves you there so that you can speak with him and ask him questions. He looked like he was hooded in a white cape, and he kind of looked like an ant being almost. Like he had a really big, weird-shaped head. And in the cave where we were, there was crystals all along the wall. It was almost like you could compare it to the Akashic records. And he says to me, these are your memories. This is everything you've ever done in this lifetime and everything you'll ever do in other lifetimes. This is the past, present, future. This is the past, present, and future for all beings. Every thought creates a ripple in the stone. So you know how like there's keys in the stones that you rub to download information?
Yeah.
Saying like all of the information is there for you. So in order for you to obtain it, you would run your finger on it, and you would download from that crystal. One of the biggest things that stuck out, and I had to share at the end of it, was he was saying, any thought that you think of, ever, is created because you simply thought it. So when you think something, it's happening somewhere. You're creating it, whether it's in this dimension, another dimension, on this part of the universe, or way across the universe. It's being made, and that's why the universe is limitless. It's endless because it just keeps expanding and growing. It will never end.
Creating.
And
Wow.
they said to stop thinking negative thoughts, to stop worrying, to stop creating that, because you're creating that whether you're creating it in your life or you're creating it on the other end of the universe. In order for us to get back to where we were with like Lemuria and Atlantis and being in the higher dimensions, you need to start creating that ripple effect and only put your energy and thoughts into positive stuff. And I was like, oh my God. And he gave us a gift, and he gave me this huge crystal that was like the size of, like, it was bigger than my body, and he took it and he like took it down into this little tiny thing and implanted it into the top of my crown. And I was like, so
I think I can feel it. My crown just tingled.
Now you've got it.
Nice. Oh my gosh. I have a strong connection to Lemuria, more than Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I've been down in the earth and on journeys and met the new people who are descendants of the Lemurians. And
Oh,
they did have kind of big heads and darker red, dark ochre skin. Kind of.
yeah.
I saw very like that red earth color.
Yeah, he was definitely weird, like that dark red brown almost.
Yeah, like when you said the ant, I was like, oh yeah, the Mew people are like that too. But
Well,
they
maybe
were-
that's who I saw.
yeah. Well, I think the Mew, he was Lemurian, but the Mew people that I met said they were descended from the Lemurians.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they were tiny, but they were like that, like kind of, I would have said ant-colored brown, that reddy brown.
Yeah, he was big. He wasn't like huge, but he was bigger than me, and his head was like, it was like, I can't even explain it. I'll have to draw a picture and send it to you guys because it was cool. He was definitely cool, but that's what I experience with my downloads is like, I feel it, I hear stuff, information comes in, and when you're getting a download, you just, whoop, here it is.
Yeah, you do.
I sometimes get a download where I just get the ringing, like I'll be thinking something or talking to someone, and all of a sudden I get that high-pitched whine or ringing in my ear. And what I've learned is to stop, and even though I don't know what's happening, wait till the sound stops.
Yes.
Be present for
Yeah.
it.
I used to ignore it and be like, why is my ear ringing? And now I just sit there, and when you are present in the moment, it lasts longer.
It goes on, and then afterwards it's like that. There's just a knowing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're like, this will come out in a week when I talk to the Pleiadian group. It will come through. Boop.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. I love when it comes through, though, and you could tell, like, it's not totally coming from you. You're like, okay, I don't know what I just said, but I love those moments.
Yeah, it's people always tell me my voice changes and my dialogue and stuff is different from, like my normal, like, hey, my Boston accent with my...
I love your Boston accent.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, last week I felt like we both were I realized afterwards, because remember we recorded 2 shows, and I think it's interesting that the first show I felt sick, nauseous, dizzy. I didn't feel like I was all the way there, and it was so interesting that I wasn't actually recorded. But the second show, I remember feeling something very different, and I totally believe that I was actually being used as a channel for Gaia last week. I felt like this immense wave of energy and love inside of me. I was like so light. I was so full. Like it was really intense. But I think I don't know if you were feeling that too, Bridget. But that was intense last week. That was awesome.
Oh my God, yeah, and I was so disappointed afterwards because I'm like, oh my God, it was so perfect. There's so much stuff that came through.
Yeah, I was the same. I was like, what? It didn't record. Oh, it wasn't that it didn't record. It didn't record Alexis's voice.
But don't you feel like I wasn't there, and I didn't feel like I was there, and I felt like she was coming in.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
I know. I was like, what just happened? Like, it felt really different. So now I know when I'm actually being used as like a medium, I feel very different, and I was exhausted after.
Yeah. Yeah, I was tired too, and I had to go to an event that night, and I ended up missing some of the second chat because my phone wouldn't let me connect back on. But when I got in the car with my friend, she was driving because I'm like, I need you to drive. Like, it was just so stressful from my house to there and trying to talk and drive, and I'm like, all right, I need you to drive. I can't. And I was like ready to throw up, going around the curves and stuff. I was like, oh, I'm like shaking and vibrating and ready to throw up, and I'm like, but during the talk, I was fine.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
I've been on a high vibration too since then.
Oh, I know. I felt like, so even though I was physically tired, but I felt high, like spiritually high, like really high.
Oh my God, that's what happened the other night with the Lemurian meditation. I was like, afterwards, I was like, it sent me into mania, wicked bad. Like for the next 2 days, I was like,
bring it.
everybody's like, what is wrong with you? Because I'm like dancing around and like crazy, just. I don't know.
Yeah, I love that. My week has been like that, and I have Sif here, and it's been so much fun. I don't get to do that much sightseeing when you live here and work here, right? I'm taking care of my kids. I'm a single mom. Yeah. Beautiful country, but I don't always get to do too much sightseeing. So I'm getting to do some amazing sightseeing, and the weather has been really good with us. And
That's great.
Did you want to say something, Sif, about Wave X, if you're there? I don't.
Yeah.
About what did you say?
About the Wave X and your time here in Ireland, whatever you want to join us.
A couple of things. It hit me. I know I'm absolutely hypersensitive when it comes to energies, and already landing in Ireland had that effect on me. I said, "Whoa, this energy is totally different from the Icelandic energy that is pure, the Danish energy that is a little bit soft, and the energies around the world that I've been to. It hits your energy system in a way that you have to be prepared to face yourself on every level. Yeah. It hits your chakra. It hits your heart chakra directly.
And I always say that, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I always tell people that Ireland is the heart chakra of the world. And then I read somewhere else and they were saying, oh, this country is the heart chakra. And I'm like, no, it's Ireland.
I feel the same way, absolutely. And I feel also, there's no doubt that this is the land of fairies and elves. There is no doubt. They are all around. I see the small golden spots all over it, and it interrupts my sight sometimes. My pictures I've been taking have been a little affected, not really in focus, some of them because of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I see them as the same as Sif, little tiny dots of light. The fairies and elves.
So yeah, I've seen them too.
Yeah. It's been a great experience altogether, and also to follow the places we have been. Actually, each place has a different kind of energy attached to it. There's more of the heart energy here, more of the fairy energy there.
Yeah.
More of the shamrock, more of a hobgoblin. Small dwarf-like creatures, etc. So it's really been an adventure. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, it sounds so nice. Sounds so fun.
Like, I want to be there. What the hell?
Oh, yeah.
When are you inviting all of us?
You guys have to come. It's just the price of the ticket, I think.
Hey, I'll buy the ticket if you give me a house to live in.
Oh, yeah, you can come and stay with me. No problem. No problem.
I just totally invited myself.
And Alexis, too, I'd love to have you guys here. I would love
to overcome my fear of flying to do that.
Yeah, I know. You
said come on.
before. Yeah, come on. We'll get you channeling and you won't remember.
I know.
I'll go pick her up. Then we can get on the plane.
No, I'm sorry to go back for a second, but hey, Sif, do you channel? Does that ever happen to you? What happened the last week to us? Because I wasn't sure. So I'm still new at trying to understand what happened.
What?
Do you ever channel? Like, do you feel like you ever Gaia or anything speaks through you?
Yes,
or like?
I channel all the time.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm a non-stop channel. What you have been describing, I live every day. I'm downloading every day. I channel every day, and that's more who I am. I have so much from the angelic realm in me that I've been like that since birth. I've been talking like this since birth, and sometimes I even say to myself afterwards, where did that come from? Because that wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
So
that is so cool.
It's been a part of me since I can remember. And all these high-pitched noises, I got them all day, all night.
Wow. And how do you determine who's speaking through you? Gaia a couple times last week, and that's how I knew it was her. But how do you know which energies you're channeling?
I ask, and I have a small ritual. I was explaining it to Natalie because people are so suspicious when it comes to channeling, and so am I, because I don't trust all information that come through actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I have this small ritual of what I call the white arc of flame. I imagine this white arc covered with golden flames, and if that being doesn't walk through that arch, I ask this being to leave my energy field and leave me the hell alone.
Ooh, I love it.
And it's not a being of light. It's a light arch made from source energy with the light and fire, and any being that is not of high energy and come with the highest good and love can't go through it.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. That's awesome.
So and if I'm giving people readings, I do that all the time because I don't want to be a bearer of false energy.
Mhm.
That's awesome. I like that idea.
I know. I like that too.
After a little while, you have certain guides that are your sort of posse. They just they are with you, and you kind of get to know their energy and trust them, and they can give you messages from other beings.
Ooh, okay, that's good to know.
So it's just what you're most comfortable with, really.
Mhm. I know in the past, before I really knew what I was doing or saying it out loud, I definitely had deceased or people that had passed on coming to me, and I remember was one time walking in the middle of the living room, like, please leave me alone. I don't want to see you. Please just go. I was so terrified. I was like, I don't want to see you. And I would just tell them to leave. I'm like, please just leave.
Yeah, it is scary. I have to say, it is scary. It's frightening. And what I found, too, is that it was hard to function in 3D when you're seeing this stuff and no one else sees it.
I know.
Right? My friend Jody, it's funny because I don't know if you've guys seen the movie Up, where the dog's like, squirrel.
Oh, yeah. Squirrel.
We always do that to each other because she'll be talking and all of a sudden she's like, oh, and I'm like, what? Like, what's the matter with you? Or even on the phone, we'll be having a conversation on the phone and she's like, oh, like, it's just, I know her voices now, like I say, oh, that's your distant voice, you're not talking to me, because it's like, she'll be in a conversation with me and then all of a sudden she's just like randomly saying stuff and I'm like, what? You talking what? Like,
yeah,
it's definitely it's hard to function in 3D like that.
It is. It's very hard to function. But as we move, maybe this Wave X, going back to Wave X, is helping to integrate this energy to have it be more commonplace and acceptable.
Yes. Sif, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about Wave X and like how do you think it's going to affect you and just everybody like that's gone in the first wave?
Wave X has been blown out of proportions big time. This is, though, the most significant wave because it pushes people that are on the verge of waking up into the awakened state. So people that are opening their eyes, they actually get pushed a little faster than the rest of us have.
Yeah.
And that's maybe what scares people, because what it's always the unknown that scares people. What are we going to expect afterwards? How is the reaction? It's not the end of the world. It's just a new state of consciousness and much more loving. So there is nothing to fear. And I hate these with every bone in my body. I hate these fear-mongering posts and videos on Wave X because it's just about awakening and ascension to become of a higher consciousness.
I totally agree with that. And someone asked me a few weeks ago about what's going to happen in September. I'm like, nothing. Like, nothing's going to happen. You're going to wake up and be like, in fairyland, you're going to be fine. Just chill out. Like, it's already here. It's already happening. It's some of us will get a kick in the ass.
Exactly.
But that's about it.
Yeah. What about that Nibiru? Sif, have you heard anything, or do you have any insight about that? I've heard people go in the Pleiadian group and they're like, Nibiru's coming, they're wiping us all out. NASA knows, they're hiding it from us. Like,
I don't know what to say.
yeah, I know.
My inside information tell me that Nibiru is a fear-based propaganda.
Yeah.
But the energies that are proclaiming Nibiru, this star, so-called star, they are real. But they are feeding off that fear. So please don't give into fear at all. And we are, if we could only see and feel the power we have together, I mean.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole thing about all of us seeing and having channeling and seeing, like, the lights and the different dimensions.
Yes.
Other people can get there, too, if they raise their vibration. And it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
And it's a wonderful way to live.
Absolutely.
Come join us.
I tried for 6 years to live without my extra dimensions, so to speak. And I found the world so flat. I found life so uninteresting.
Yeah.
I've gone back and forth for a while, because the first time Nibiru came into my information field, I was like, what? And it's right. They want us to call. They're like, oh, it's the destroyer. It's this, it's that. Where everything's going to be screwed up. It's bringing these bad beings. So I dismissed it altogether. I was like, that ain't real. But then it kept coming back into my information, and looking into the Zechariah Stitch and stuff, and even just like through synchronicity in your life, like somebody will show you a picture, and to me it looks like the winged disc will be in there, and I'm like, and it's almost like they're trying to tell me, like, this is real, it's coming. But I don't think it's coming in like tomorrow, because everybody's like, oh, it's going to be here September 2015. September 2015 goes by, and they're like, oh, it's going to be here in March 2016, and that date will go by, and they're like, oh, it's going to be here. Nobody friggin' knows. And I think that's a part of the reason why we are shifting, is because it's getting closer.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to blow the world up. I don't think we're going to be like, all of a sudden the North Pole is going to be on the South Pole. I think, if anything, we're slowly going to shift to be in new spots. And I don't think anybody's going to, like, come down here and, like, take over, because we have so many good beings here. We're being protected. It's like we're being watched right now by the galactic people, because they're like, wow, look what's going on down here. This is cool.
Yeah.
But I don't buy into like the big fear about it. Like I'm not afraid that like someone's coming down to like mess with my DNA or anything.
You know, something about that, like if anyone that doesn't know, that is part of, you know, what they say the negative alien agenda is, and it comes in many different forms, and it's all about anything that generates fear. That's the whole part of the negative alien agenda. They want to create fear because they feed off fear, and that's really important to understand that the more you stay in a fearful place, the more we create more fear, and we create more situations to fear. So it is important what Sif was saying, that we realize exactly how powerful that we all are, and we try to stay in a really loving, peaceful place, and we hold that energy. It's so important, I think.
And it totally jives with Bridget's message from the Lemurian. I guess it's really important to hear this now. About don't create the negatives. Don't create it.
Right. If we are all consciousness and we are all the creator of our own reality, then you can create that reality where this is coming and it's going to be bad, and you know, you're a doomsday prepper and you're out spending all your money on water and supplies. You're creating that for your own self. If you're, you know, if you choose to be like me and like whatever, you'll be a lot happier. You just release those worries, release that stress, that tension. Stop looking at stuff people say, because most of the people out there don't. Go inside. Figure it out for yourself. You don't have to come to me for a reading or go to Natalie for a reading. Like, go inside and connect. Feel yourself. Feel your heart. Feel your solar plexus. What do you feel when you think about this stuff? Like, are you, like, freaking out? If you are, then maybe you should come to us for healing. But your inner knowing should tell you, like, this ain't happening tomorrow. There's nothing going on. Nobody's coming down to, like, take you in a little ship and probe you in the butt or anything. You're going to be fine.
Probe you in the butt. What I was just thinking, could it be a dimensional planet? Like that the Nibiru is coming closer, but like on another dimension? Because
That's right.
They say the dimensions can almost touch, literally.
Yes.
Almost touch.
That's the feel I get. That's the feel we have been talking a little bit about it, Larry and I, and we both seem to get that information. That's more of an interdimensional thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I feel that way with like the stuff like to do with Atlantis and Lemuria too. It's like it's not gone. It's just you're not perceiving it.
Yeah, it's in another dimension. Could be even enclosed in this dimension, which can have dimensions that are like what, the membranes, almost like touching, and then you can have ones fully enclosed. I always think of the fairy realm as a part of it is fully enclosed here, and there's definitely portals in Ireland for it, and then it goes up into other whatever, you know, outside too.
Yeah.
I think it
come to your portals.
Yeah, come and visit my portals.
Like it's sucked in. I'm like the person that be like, oh, it's a new dimension, bye, boop, gone.
Hey, Bridget, no joke that the Irish have stories about the fairies taking people and they were never seen again. And Sif was saying they have the same stories in Iceland with the fairies and elves there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They just leave. They're like, yeah, I like it better there. Bye.
Well, hey, I could see myself being more like, no, I'm okay with going back. Let's stay.
So the other one with the something that you were saying, Alexis, about the NAA.
Yes.
They're feeding. They want to create a fear among people about it, so that you know they feed off it, and maybe there's even an economic, whatever, benefit for them. Who knows why?
You're all out there like, I need to buy this, I need to buy that, and
I think that brings me to like a kind of a tangent, but another point I wanted to make, which is that a lot, you know, and this is something I had to learn and really kind of master, is mastering my perception over things that were happening in my life. Because if people are on the flux of really a huge wave of people waking up, I do think there's some, like, you go through a period of change, but you have control over how you're viewing the situation, and that makes all the difference, is how you're framing what's happening to you. But and trying to reframe even this, some of the fear-mongering that's happening, and trying to reframe it in another way. But don't you think that's true, Natalie, that people, that's a big part of people's own suffering, is how they see what's happening to them, how they interpret it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. they can see, you could see change as the best thing that ever happened to you and look, and I get to try something new. Or you can just dwell on, oh my God, I lost everything.
Right. Yeah.
And it really is, you know, and we've all gone through it. I'm sure we've all been in that position. Lost everything and then just decided, okay, I'm going to look at this as a new start, new beginning, and I'm looking forward to what's happening next. It's a conscious decision.
It was for me. I went through this last awakening was really intense for me, and again, I was very stubborn, so I really had to be dragged into it. But in the end, I started conquering my own thoughts, staying very present, meditating constantly, and reframing everything. And just, I had to let things go. I just had to let things go, and you know, I had to just say, I'm happy, things are great. Actually, that's part of my trick was when things are at the worst, try to say the opposite of what's actually happening to create that thing.
It's hard though. It is.
Oh,
hard.
it was hard.
When you're really down. You go, yeah, everything's great, you know. It can be hard, but it does work. I love Louise L. Hayes.
I love her.
And I used to always say, and I still say it, I love myself and the universe loves me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure does. It loves me.
Well, you know, also, I think people losing material things, for me, I definitely feel like it was a huge blessing. I was very stressed out by all my crap that I had, and it helped me to go within. Losing all that stuff helped me to really get back in touch with spirit and to go within. It actually can be really cleansing and like cathartic to let it go. It was painful at first. I totaled my Mini Cooper, and I was like so sad over it, and I was like, okay, it's a car. You got to move on. You just got to move on. You know? I had to let it go.
Mini Cooper, no.
Right? First world problems, like serious, like someone was complaining, like, God, in America, we must sound so really obnoxious to other places in the world. We're like, my iPhone doesn't work, you know, or the things that we freaking whine over were so ridiculous.
Yep.
Right?
You know, I try to put it into that. I always step back and try to look at things from a different perspective when I notice myself going down like a path of like, and I'm like, really, it's not that bad. Like, chill the hell out. You're gonna be fine. Like, oh, my phone just. I have to turn my phone off because it's not loading fast enough. Like, really? That's the biggest problem at your moment. Just chill out.
And we're really good creators. So again, back to like everything we were talking about, that we're such good creators that you think about I can really create a real negative scenario. I can go way down into the depths of despair and really create it bad. So I gotta watch it.
You know what? That's what I started doing. Remember how I said I was forced? I think I've been like kind of more fifth dimensional for quite a long time, but I was pretending I wasn't. And so get this, I actually was creating massive like drama and chaos, like car accidents, a lot of strange accidental things. And until I grasped the fact that, until I totally bought it that I'm a creator, I better control every thought and emotion. That like I'm in charge of everything that's coming out of here. And until I actually bought that, that's what turned everything around. But oh my God, when things get bad, the worst thing to do is to dwell on it and keep thinking of the worst. Fear and worrying. Oh my God, I had to stop that. I had to really stop it. I was creating everything. I was totally creating everything.
Be a warrior, not a warrior.
I like that.
I shared that the other day. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Natalie, is that how you learned that lesson? Like, were you creating hell on earth? Because I think that's the book I'm going to write. How to create hell on earth.
That sounds like a great book on everything you just said. How about how to create heaven on earth?
Yeah, that's the point, that, you know, the opposite of it. But it's just, I think that people will see, wow, they're living like hell on earth most of the time, you know?
Yeah.
That could be why we're creating it, like, in such mass scale.
But have you noticed that when you mention it to people, that it's your own perception and your own feelings that this actually, now I've forgotten the English word.
Just say your own word.
Decide how you see life and how you feel life.
Yeah.
You actually get them to, or they become frustrated because they don't want to acknowledge it.
Totally, Sif. And it took me a long time, and I was really stuck in some victim patterns for a long time. And yes, it pisses you off when you're creating all this bad stuff for yourself, and someone comes and tells you you're not a victim. Stop doing this. Yes, I would get angry and mad, and not everyone is ready to accept that information. You're so right. People get really defensive, and they're like, "No, I'm not. It's happening to me."
Yeah.
But I wanted to change. I wanted to end the suffering, and so I was like, no, I have to look at my part in this. What am I doing to create this scenario right now?
Taking responsibility is the most freeing thing ever, people.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Even if it's stuff that you're not. I read this one time in a Buddhist text, and I thought it was great. They were saying that even if you're not actually responsible for something, taking responsibility is a great way of releasing energy and working with energy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you take yourself immediately out of the victim path.
Mm-hmm. And they said the benefit, if you okay, you think someone else did it, but you just say, okay, I took it. They say you basically take the quote poison and you transmute it. Take responsibility for it. You go, yeah,
It's a lot for people. Like when people aren't able to accept it themselves, I'll take that role on for them. I know it's not mine to take. I'm like, oh, it's okay, it's my fault, and it makes it better instantly, instead of trying to like place blame on someone.
To take the poison, sure we don't, but it's like actually if you're able to do it, and you have to be in quite a good state to take it, to do that. And you say, okay, no, it's okay, I'll take it. You can blame me, or it's my responsibility. And you've done some huge alchemy and transmutation in that act.
That takes a lot of emotional and spiritual maturity to really get to that level, I think.
You have to have worked through a lot of your stuff, I think, to get.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Because sometimes people can get sick. I just want to put a caution in there, because I've seen it happen, that someone did this practice of taking stuff that wasn't theirs, and they got sick.
Yeah.
So slowly, and just with intent and consciousness, and if you want to do that, to try that.
I've noticed that I'll do it, and I'll do it and do it and do it and do it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, it's not even like other people will come to me and be like, yo, hey, do you realize that everybody else sees what's going on here? And I'm like, oh. And then I realize, like, because I do it, like, without even realizing, like, I'll just take on other shit that's not mine to take on. And then other people will be like, dude, don't take that on. It's not yours to take on. Or, like, it's like almost to a fault.
Right.
And then once it's brought to my attention, then I'm like, oh, what the fuck, man? Like, I get all mad. But then you think about it, like, if I wasn't bothered by it, it had to be brought to my attention to bother me, then why should I be bothered by it?
Exactly. That's where I'm kind of getting this place where I'm like, whatevs. There's drama in the group. Oh, it's okay. I'll get over it. It's exactly. Right, it's over. Whatever. It's not a big deal. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. You don't have to get that upset about it. A book helped me a lot, and I wrote an article, a blog article on my blog, but this book helped me a lot, and it's how I'm able to deal with so many people online now. And that is the Celestine prophecy. And they see in the world of energy and looking at control dramas, you don't take it personal. You're like, okay, this person doesn't know how to fill up and connect to source themselves. So they're unconsciously manipulating. They're unconsciously manipulating, for instance, someone that's for me.
Yeah.
Someone that's an intimidator, someone that's a bully. They're unconsciously trying to steal energy from you because they don't know how to get it for themselves. And like knowing that is really, really, that's honestly the thing that's helped me, Natalie, is I don't take it personal. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't give it to them. If I don't have any extra, I don't give it to them.
That's good.
Yeah,
I don't feel codependent about overgiving, and especially if someone's trying to manipulate me. If I have the extra energy and time, I will do it, but I just don't know why get mad at it. It's like, there's no reason to get mad.
Yeah, I tend to overgive.
Yeah.
It's a boundary issue with me, but I am learning what my limits are and how much I can give, but I just get so much joy in giving.
Right. And that's the catch-22 with this. It's like, okay, I enjoy giving. People see that I enjoy giving, so they're like, oh, take. But there has to be some, like, you know, and there's relationships that you become aware of this in, and you're like, all right. And that's when you step back a little bit, and you're like, okay, you don't even realize, like, you're giving out readings for free to people who you consider a friend. And then when you have something to say, they're like, you know, they either don't hear what you're saying, or they go right back to themselves. And I don't feel like that is an equal relationship. And when that starts coming up, that's when I'm like, okay, I need to put some brakes on here.
Yeah.
Isn't fun.
I avoid that stuff. My relationship with my twin flame actually has helped me so much because my boundaries have really improved with him. And it's interesting, probably because he's so close to me, that I feel like it's improving with everybody. I don't feel guilty when I say no anymore. I give a lot to you, but I'm also like, guys, I'm really busy. Sorry, I can't get back to you. Like, I'll get back to you when I can. I don't feel.
And we understand that. We're not like, oh my God, she's such a bitch.
But you know what? I had this one woman that wrote me, and she's like, I feel synchronistically I'm supposed to talk to you, that you have this information for me. And I was like, okay. And I talked to her for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I knew it. This was, you know, probably one of the last ways of learning this I knew she was taking advantage of me. I knew I was overgiving. I knew I was like, there was something codependent going on, and I was letting it happen. I kept trying to put up boundaries with her, and she got really pissed off. She wrote me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, okay, it's 2 a.m. I'm really tired. I'm like, let me talk to you tomorrow. And I would try to put like boundaries around it, and she just totally blatantly would ignore me and just kept writing, sending me books of information. I'm like, oh my God. And I had to actually
now.
Maybe. No, I actually had to block her, and she went on my blog, and she's like, you know, I disagree with you, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I would tell her things like about twin flame relationships, and she didn't want to accept responsibility stuff. So there was a perfect example of it. She didn't want to look at her role in things and was very defensive. Yeah. And she's like, I just disagree with you. And automatically, when shit goes bad with the twin flame, people are like, you're a false twin flame. I did it too. I mean, you know, you want to go down that path, but she didn't like what I had to say. She wasn't ready for the information. Mm-hmm. And she wrote me on my blog, and she was like, you know, if someone disagrees with you, I'm like, no, look, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I really couldn't talk to you, and you just still kept rattling on. You're not respecting my boundaries. I'm like, I love giving to you, but you don't really know how to accept the word no. And I'm like, I just was honest with her, but some people really, I've had random people write me like, why did you have me a friend if you're not going to talk to me? I'm like, I just hit block and delete after that. I don't even respond. I'm like, okay, if you're a crazy pants, I'm not dealing with you.
Mm-hmm. People have to realize we aren't sitting at the computer 24/7 waiting for you. Like, chill out. I'll get to you.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's almost out of survival. I'm letting go of the guilt. I think the guilt is what the hard part is. Like, I try never to do anything unless I don't do things because I'm being manipulated and do it now, or I feel or feeling guilty myself. I just do it if I feel like doing it.
Right.
Great freedom again in that, being free from the shame, guilt, and giving just joyfully because it feels good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do. I'm giving a lot more than I ever have, and like that's what's funny is like that's what some shaman had told me. They're like, your troubles and everything will stop if you start helping other people. I'm like, really? And I didn't want to. I know. I was like, damn it. I know.
Like, damn it. I didn't want it about me. No.
No, totally. I think that's another like marker in spiritual maturity is getting over yourself and self-esteem. I had to get over myself majorly.
Oh, cute. Guys, I have to get up early in the morning, so I'm going to have to wrap this up now.
All right. Well, this was a great talk.
I really enjoyed it.
Everybody, ladies.
Sif, it was so good to talk to you. So great to hear your voice.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'll have to come on more.
Let's see about that. I have to prove in the ending of September that I can speak English.
Yeah, there you go. You're doing a good job.
And you can use this. Say, see, I can talk. Now hire me. What?
I said, are we wrapping it up?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
wrap it up.
Okay, so Natalie, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Thank you, Bridget. You can find me on Facebook at the Starseed Shaman page or Natalie Alaya, and my website, www.alayahealingservices.com. And I offer a multitude of services, and please write me or email me if you're interested.
Okay, and Alexis, where can we find you?
Yeah, if you guys are interested in connecting with me, you can find me at whitelightninja.com. And I also have a Facebook group for women. It's called The Sisterhood, and there's actually a link on my blog to my website. It's all on there as well.
Okay, and Sif, did you want to let us know where we can find you?
Yeah, I'm still on Facebook. I'm still in a lot of regional group for the Pleiadians. I'm in the Pleiadian Twin Flame Souls United, and I have my own little angel page honoring my angelic side, Rainbow Angel 444 on Facebook, and my own wall.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And my name is Bridget Rau. You can find me on Facebook under, I actually changed the name today, Divine Essentials, New Paradigm Healing. I work in Carver, Mass. at Blue Angel Healing. Those are all my dogs barking. They're being jerks. And I have my website, becreativelyu.com. And I just want to say thank you to everybody today for talking, and I will talk to you next week.
Yes, great show, guys.
Great show. Goodbye, everybody.
All right, aloha, bye-bye.
Bye.